happy Thursday. I'm excited that it's Thursday because being Thursday, it means that tomorrow is Friday, which means that the day after is Saturday, and that will be, well, Saturday I'm going to a party. It's, yeah, crazy times. So Saturday I'm actually going to a party with Sam at his new base at work because he's in the army, so we do like a lot of summer balls and things like that. And this particular one has a theme, and the theme is the full moon. And so it's a fancy dress party. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, you know, fancy dress like that. I love a bit of kind of neon and all that kind of thing, 80s fancy dress. And turns out that actually this is a Thai full moon party. So instead of being the werewolf costume that I kind of expected, you know, full moon, werewolves, nymphs, all that kind of stuff, it's actually Thai full moon, which means that it's full on like neon, bikinis, all this kind of thing in the UK in the middle of May. So obviously it will be freezing cold, and obviously I've been eating ice cream for the last week. So I'm now on bikini body mission, which is not going well. But I did go to 2 hours of dance class last night, and I'm going again tonight, and I'm going to go again tomorrow, and I'm going to go running on Saturday before the party. Welcome. So today is all about ideal clientology. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be quite exciting, and I'm going to kind of whiz through it and then give you a really cool link at the end, because I'm actually running a live webinar today. Woohoo! Like I don't have enough to do. Hey Lorraine! Whee! I can't you know, the only thing I don't like about Facebook Live, the only thing, because I'm obsessed with it, is that I can't see who jumps on. Hey Sarah! Oh, I love that. I'm off for lunch now, but we'll watch the replay. Do it, because this one's going to be awesome. So, yes, you did hear bikini body training. Yeah. It's so it's official. I'm going to a party at Sam's work, so on the army base on Saturday. He told me about it on Tuesday, and he said, oh, it's a full moon party. So I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. Thinking my costume could be like a werewolf or something, because it's fancy dress, obviously. And so yesterday he was like, oh yeah, there's going to be this swimming pool, and it's like all going to be really cool, and lots of UV lights and all this stuff. And I was just like, well, why is that for full moon? And it turns out that because I'm an idiot, he actually meant a Thai full moon party, like they have in, is it Koh Tao or something like that? I don't know. But anyway, he meant Thai full moon party, so it's like bikinis, neon, shorts, UV, basically going back to uni, I think, or the 80s, whichever. Like, I'm okay with either. So I went to a dance class last night for 2 hours, and I'm going to one tonight for 2 hours, and then I'm going to go for a run tomorrow and a run on Saturday, and I'm just hoping that that will kind of get me into shape. Because I've never met his new work friends, because obviously it's brand new posting, he's only been there a few weeks, so I've not met any of them. The first time I meet them I will be in my bikini, so good luck for me. But yeah, so I'm eating fruit and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly, I hope it does warm up, because otherwise I'm going to be freezing. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing this week. I'm aiming for a bikini body before Saturday for the party, and I'm holding a live webinar tonight, which is going to be really cool, which is all about the latest launch. Don't know whether you guys have heard about it yet. If you haven't, I have just done well, I say finished, but almost finished, a launch with Susan Kate. We made 20k in 2 weeks using free tools, no email list, no website, no nothing, and tonight we're holding a webinar or a masterclass on that, so if anybody wants the link, I will pop it in the comments at the end so you guys can jump in and have a look. It's going to be at 6 PM GMT, which is 1 PM EST and 12 noon CST. But that's going to be quite cool. It's just going to be like 45 minutes of me and Sue kind of giving you the blueprint of how we did everything and how we use tools like Blab and stuff like that to actually hit the 20k revenue goal, which was awesome. So that's good. So today we're talking all about ideal clients. If I look this way, it's because I'm looking at the sheet of stuff that I wrote out before the call. So it's one of those things, I try and come to these so I'm prepared and that I know what I'm saying. But occasionally it does mean that it looks like I'm not looking at you. So ideal clients, who, and I suppose this is kind of the biggest thing to start with, who actually feels like they already know their ideal client? Like, who is kind of already like, yeah, Jess, I know who my ideal client is, I'm not bothered by this, I know exactly who it is. Lorraine, I will be reading that blog. Do get a bikini body by Friday. It's now Thursday. Is this possible for me? That's hilarious. Yeah, this week I'm totally your ideal client. Like, test out, I'm doing the things from your book. Tonight I'm having stir fry and all this kind of stuff. So I will be posting pictures and kind of raving about your book because it's freaking awesome. So, ideal clients, who thinks, apart from Lorraine, because I'm her ideal client, who thinks that they already have their ideal client nailed? Like, is there anybody here that kind of goes, I don't need to learn about my ideal client because I already know them and I know their shoe size and I make loads of money every year and, you know, I obviously know exactly what my ideal client wants from me. If there's no comments, I'm just going to assume that it's a no, it's fine, you don't have to write anything. But ideal clientology is a really weird thing, and it's actually an exercise that I do probably every 3 months or so. The reason being that as my business grows, I change, I develop, my ideal clients change, they develop, they grow. And so actually, it's something that is really helpful to do on an ongoing basis. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that I do see in the online world is that people go, right at the beginning of their business, they'll go, right, this is my ideal client, and she's a woman in a corporate job, and she is between 28 and 35, and she's earning X amount per year, and she likes shopping in Waitrose, which is kind of a posh supermarket here, and, you know, she goes to gym regularly and all this kind of thing. And they do that right at the beginning of their business, and that's great, because right at the beginning of their business, that really is their ideal client, because, you know, that's probably the person they've just been 3 or 4 steps ago, or, you know, it's the person they most identify with, and the person they can really understand and get to grips with where they are in their business. The problem is that actually, as you start changing, as your business starts growing, as you have more clients, you start to work out who you actually really enjoy working with, and who perhaps just isn't really on your wavelength. Hey Anushka, you've managed to get on live, even with your broken internet. This is what we call dedication. Dedication to the cause. I'm going to move my chair over. Yay! I'm also really looking forward to reading your blog, by the way. I'm like seriously excited about that. So, in terms of your ideal client, I would recommend doing this exercise every 3 months or so, just to make sure that you actually are still targeting your ideal client, or that your ideal client is still current, because it does change, it does shift. Probably over the course of my business over the last 2 years, I've had maybe 4 different ideal clients, I would say, and not that, you know, the interesting thing is that as you kind of grow and develop, obviously the knowledge you're passing on to your clients helps them develop. So actually, your first ever clients will probably stay with you in various situations and may come back to you because they'll be developing at the kind of similar rate. So it's quite interesting. But in terms of how you get those ideal clients, actually a lot of the things that I see around can be like, okay, what kind of books does your ideal client read? What kind of Facebook groups do they hang out in? What kind of clothes do they like to wear? What kind of hobbies do they have? And those are all really good things. But I don't actually find that they're that useful in terms of being able to monetize your ideal client. Because obviously one of the things that we seem to forget about when we're looking at our ideal client is, and I'm sure that we all think this, our ideal client would be able to pay us without question, you know? So when we're looking at ideal clients and when we're thinking about all that nice stuff around, okay, well, what books do they read and what magazines do they like, we actually also need to think about some practical things, and that's what I'm going to be covering off today. So if you're stuck on your ideal client, a good overview of your ideal client, then that's awesome. And what will happen is I'm going to give you some practical tips which should help you nail it down even further, and help you monetize that as well. So when we're talking about ideal clients, and again, if you guys have any questions at any point, chuck them in the comments and I will be answering them as we go along. But in terms of when we're talking about our ideal clients, we need to get really specific. And if any of you did the Block to Book challenge recently with me, you'll know that I really, really like specificity. Yes, I said it. Yeah, come on. I'm feeling like that's a win right there. But you really need to get specific on all areas of what you're doing. So whether that's how you talk to your ideal client, whether that's the program that you're running, whether it's the particular niche that you're in, whatever, I'm a big believer in that you can be really, really specific, and that's a good thing, because it doesn't, contrary to kind of popular belief, it doesn't actually weed out the clients that you could potentially get. What it means is that you're actually targeting clients that actually will want to work with you and will be ideal clients for you. So that's what we're talking about here. So let's think about a couple of things when you're thinking practically about ideal clients that you really need to look at, that you may, if you're awesome, and you're not a newbie, you may have considered before. And if you're new to the online world or the coaching industry, or just kind of building a business in general, you might not have considered some of these things. So I'm kind of hoping that you guys have pen and paper today, because this one is kind of cool. Okay, so the first thing that you need to be thinking about when you're thinking about your ideal client, surprisingly, is not their gender, is not their age, is not the books that they read or where they hang out online. It's actually their income level. Okay, and it sounds really weird and it sounds kind of mercenary, but so many people come to me and they say, oh, I've got this awesome business idea and it's really great and I want to work with these amazing people and it sounds awesome. And I'm like, okay, cool, so how much money are you making out of it currently, and where do you want to be? And they say, oh, I'm not making any money right now. And I'm like, oh, okay, why is that? And the first answer that people usually give me, and I would say this is the first answer about 80% of the time, people say, people can't afford it. My target market can't afford it. My clients just can't afford me. And I'm like, well, why not? You know, and there are two reasons that people may sometimes say that they can't afford you. One of them will be that they just can't, you know, that's life. Another time might be that they don't really see the value in what you're offering. But actually, if you are consistently being told by your target market, we can't afford you, and you feel like you're doing everything to combat that, so you're offering payment plans, you are delivering tons of value, you're really clear on your I'm really hoping that Facebook Live is not going to do that stupid freezing thing that it did yesterday, because that will hack me off. But you're really clear on your offer and you're really clear on everything that you're doing and the value that you're delivering. Then it could be that actually you are targeting a market with the wrong income level. Okay? So let's just think about that for a second. Now, my services, outside of the case studies that I run, they typically tend to be $1,500 plus, okay? And my highest price service is $10,000, okay? So the people that come to me, my clients, have to be within Anushka, me and you have the same sense of humour. Yes, I want to work with artists, you know, the starving ones, but I don't understand why I don't earn money. I'm just going to move, but yes, exactly that, okay? And again, Lorraine, exactly. It's, you know, true of mums who aren't working need to ask husbands for money. It's hard sometimes to go in and talk about money, manifestation and mindset straight away. Yes, it absolutely is. So when you're thinking about your ideal client, be practical about it and be like, well, can they actually pay me? You know, so things... Anushka, that's just making me laugh, sorry. So when you're looking at that ideal client and you're looking at that income level, look at your services and look at how much they cost, okay? So, for example, like I was just saying about mine, my most expensive service right now is $10,000. What does that mean for the clients that I work with? Okay, well, the services start at 1,000 or 1,500 and they go up to 10,000. Now that means that people have a range of choices that they can make when it comes to the program they choose. I run installment plans on everything, so people are more than welcome to kind of pay payment plans, which makes it easier for people. But it's nothing that is kind of cheap. There's not a kind of low-end starter offer under $1,000, for example. And so what that means is that the clients that I need to work with, my ideal clients, need to have an income level where actually they have that level of disposable income. So either the level of disposable income to pay my payment plan and, you know, the kind of things that go along with that, or they need to be able to have access to either have the ability to get hold of or use the money that is disposable to them for coaching services, and they need to believe, you know, that there's going to be a return on investment with that. So just think about the income level that your ideal client needs to be on. Now, if you're charging anything between $1,000 to $3,000, I can tell you right now your ideal client is probably going to have an income level of around $50,000, because at that level of disposable income, generally where people are in life, depending on whether they have mortgages, children, you know, lots of kind of external factors going on, they will have a level of disposable income that they can put aside for fun stuff or for business or to invest in themselves, you know. So actually, if you're charging anywhere between $1,000 and $3,000, that's kind of the income level you need to be heading at. Nicola, can you make up for it with higher volume, sell a lower price product but get it out to hundreds consistently? Yeah, absolutely. Like if you and I think that this is a really kind of cool example. If you look at anything in the product-based industry, and over here in the UK we have what's called the 99p shop, which is basically like the 99-cent shop, and so what happens is they all sell products for 99 pence, but they'll sell a ton of them, and they're actually one of the UK's highest income generating and profit generating stores, which is kind of concerning when you look at the markup that there must be on the products that they're selling in other places, but that's neither here nor there. So yes, to answer your question simply, absolutely you could do a lower end or lower ticket priced product and sell more of them, but then you just need to think, and this will come into both factors, whether you're selling higher ticket stuff or lower ticket stuff, you need to be thinking about how you're going to market that. Okay, so what are your marketing costs potentially going to look like? Now, if you're selling lower ticket offers, you know, it might be that you can do a lot of it by word of mouth. So for example, if you had a small priced offer, something like an ebook, or you had something like a mini course or something like that, and it was under $100, what you could probably do is do enough advertising by word of mouth and get people to actually promote it for you that you would have a lot of free advertising, and then you could reinvest any money, any profit back into a solid funnel of Facebook ads, for example, and you'd be selling more and more and more, and then the profit would get bigger. Exactly, Lorraine. You know, not everyone's going to spend the big money, but they'll spend $70, you know, 10 times a year. It's just how people's cash flow works. It's how, you know, it's what they have, and it's what they're willing to invest. I'm not saying that everybody has to have a high ticket offer, but I think it's really important when we are considering who our ideal clients are, is, you know, regardless of what you're selling them and what your product or service is, can they pay for it? You know, are they able to get hold of the money? Are they able to use that disposable income for your service? And are they actually willing to invest in it? You know, is it going to be something that they see as being a true investment in themselves, their business, their health, their wealth, whatever? Yeah? Okay, awesome. The next thing is, and this is a really big one. I had this recently. I was talking to somebody on a discovery call, and I was like, so tell me what you love about your clients. And she was like, oh God, they're nightmares. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, no, I really struggle sometimes with getting the right clients, and I feel like I don't always gel with people, and they seem really different on the discovery call, and then it's not so great when we're going through the program. And if you're somebody that has a longer term program, it's really, really important to get the right people in. And so it always, for me, one of the biggest things that I consider when I think about my ideal client is, do I get along with them? Personality type wise, do we actually get along? Do I like those people? Would I be able to work with them? Am I able to bounce off of them? Do we enjoy having calls? And think about that personality type that you want to work with longer term. Now, this is really, really important if you're going to be working with somebody for 3 months or more. I think we might need to reverse engineer, starting from what you want to earn and then calculate the different tickets and find ways to get there. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We can definitely do a training on sales processes and stuff for that anyway, because you guys are, I was saying right at the beginning, I'm holding a free webinar tonight that you can all come to. It's going to be great. All about how I just, with Susan, had a 20k launch in 2 weeks without an email list, without a website, without any of the stuff that you need. So that might be a good place to start for that. And then we can certainly do a training on high ticket and low ticket offerings and the different ways in which you sell them. Awesome. So personality types. Who here knows the kinds of people they actually really want to work with? Are the people you want to work with, are they enthusiastic? Are they passionate? Are they reserved? Are they introverted, extroverted? Do they travel a lot? What kind of sense of adventure do they have? Do they have a really wicked sense of humour? The people I tend to work with typically have a really wicked sense of humour, and they like to embrace the fun side in their business. They're also pretty relaxed people. They're very, very driven, and they're very passionate about what they do and how they kind of deliver a great service to their clients. But actually, as people, they're kind of chilled out. They're kind of relaxed about life in general, And I like that because I'm pretty chilled out about life in general. So just think about the types of personalities that you want to work with. If you're thinking, okay, I don't want to work with people that need constant hand-holding, then you don't want to work with newbies necessarily. You want to work with people that are independent, that are feisty, that are prepared to go out and do their own research, that are self-motivated. Just be thinking about these things when you're thinking about your ideal client. Lorraine. Mine have a great sense of humour. They're the ones I get on best with. They're also curious about life and new ways to find happiness or success. They're strong women too. No wussy types controlled by their husbands. That's amazing. Your ideal client is literally Sam if he was a woman. And not controlled by me. I firmly believe that he is under the thumb. Except he's not, because he still hasn't built the IKEA wardrobe yet. Anushka, no need to praise me there as your ideal client. What can I say? You've worked it out. You've caught me. But, it's true. At the end of the day, you've got to work out who your favourite people are to work with, and if the people that you want to work with aren't reflective of the people that you're currently working with, then you definitely need to do this exercise, because you need to be looking, okay, well, why am I getting all these people that perhaps don't really gel with my personality, or that aren't really kind of getting to the place that I want them to get to, and we're finding it really quite difficult on calls and things? Look at this exercise. He's not under the thumb, might be under a 7-inch stiletto heel pole dancer though. For those of you who don't know, yes, I teach pole dancing. And it's brilliant. One day I'll do a live stream from the pole dance studio, and that'll be great, because I've got 6 poles in the house, but it doesn't look quite as glamorous on carpet, I'll be honest. Fine. So then I want you to think about, after personality type, think about, okay, so you've got the personality type in mind, but think about what you want your client to take from this experience with you. What kind of things are they going to experience? What kind of mindset changes are they going to go through? What kind of shifts are they going to have in their business, or their health, or their wealth, or their life, or whatever it is that you're kind of teaching them? And think about that kind of almost like emotional relationship, the emotional intelligence and the kind of string between you two. Because actually that's just as important. The journey that you're going to go on with your client is just as important as their income, as their personality type, as the program that you're offering. So you need to be prepared. And I do this a lot. When I'm sitting down, I'm thinking about my ideal client. And actually, I'll share this. Lorraine won't mind, but I say Lorraine won't mind, but she might. When I was sat down and I was thinking about Sellout Success, which for those of you who don't know was a kind of case study that I was running a couple of months ago and that now runs as a fully fledged group program. When I was sat down, I was thinking about Sellout Success and I was thinking about my ideal client for Sellout Success. I was thinking, okay, I want somebody who's really, really passionate about what they do, who really wants to make a wider impact on the world, who, when I'm working with them, I'm going to be able to see that they are ready to go through those things. They're ready to see success. And even if I wasn't around, they would see success. It might be slower, you know, it might take them a lot longer, but they'd still have that determination and that motivation to actually get them to where their financial goals need to be. And I want them to be fun, and I want them to be, you know, fun to work with, and I want them to be relaxed, but I want them to be resilient and self-motivated and strong and, you know, kind of able to be coachable. That was the biggest thing for me, was that I wanted people who genuinely wanted to be coachable, and who wanted to actually listen to information, suck it up, and then just go out and take action. So I really wanted people that were ready to move in their business. I didn't want people that were just going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, okay, cool, well, you know, I'll give it a go, but I'm not really bothered if it works out. I wanted people who were really like, I really want to make this happen, I'm really determined, I'm really motivated, and that's exactly what I got. And the first day that I put the Sellout Success sales page up, there was this comment from Lorraine, who obviously now is in Sellout Success, that said, this feels like you're talking to me. And I was like, yes! That really hurt my throat, FYI. But I was really excited because I was like, as soon as Lorraine wrote, this feels like you're talking to me, I was like, I've got it right. Because as soon as I'd seen that she'd write that, I was like, Lorraine is exactly the sort of person that I would want to work with, you know? And so that's the thing. When you know who your ideal client is, when you know, I'm glad you remember that. But when you know who your ideal client is, when you know what they're thinking in terms of their personality, when you know what their key motivators are, when you know what their drivers are, when you know what their journey could look like, and when you know about the kind of relationship that you want to have with that client, it's much, much easier to attract them with your sales pages, with your copy, with your funnels and all that kind of stuff, because you already know what they want from you, and you're able to give that to them. It's very, very different to when you kind of first start out in your business. And I think a lot of us have probably been in this point where we've gone, oh wow, the big coaches are doing X, Y, Z, and they're offering unlimited email support, they're offering, 12 45-minute calls, or they're doing, whatever. So that's what I'll offer. And you kind of model your services on what they're offering because you think, well, that's what's working. Now, it's not, a bad idea. It's not, a bad system, but it doesn't really attract your ideal clients. It attracts theirs because, it attracts the ones that are their ideal clients, but probably at a lesser cost when people are new and they're starting out and they're modelling their services on somebody else's. And so what you want to make sure that when you're doing your ideal client exercise, you're like, yeah, I've got this nailed. I know exactly who I want to work with and who I really gel with and who I know has the right income level to be able to work with me and, is happy to pay for my services and really excited about the work that we're going to do together, and that will have the kind of emotional intelligence or the drive and the commitment and the passion to actually making themselves achieve the goals that they want to achieve. That's when actually your sales copy speaks to that person, just like my sales copy spoke to Lorraine. Lorraine, ironically, I didn't think I could afford to invest in a coach, but the money just magically appeared once I said that day. Yeah, and you know what? It was a really, really cool experience, because actually people, once you've made that commitment, I find once you've made that commitment, I'm just waiting for Phase 5 to stop being a plonker and freeze. Once you've made that commitment to actually hitting those goals or achieving those results, or you feel like, and I do this all the time, if a sales page speaks to me, I'm just like, I have to have it. You know, it's not because I'm like a crazy impulse buyer, even though I totally am sometimes, usually with things from IKEA. But it's because if I can genuinely see that I am that person's ideal client, that I am, you know, the person that they really want involved in their business, that they can take me to the next level, that there is some kind of synergy there, there's nothing stopping me. You know, there is literally nothing stopping me from going out and making a purchase with that person. And I've seen a lot of questions recently about funnel times and, you know, okay, well, how long does it take you to build a relationship and things like that. In all honesty, it totally depends how you do it. If you've got the right, I say the right, but if you really nail your ideal client, you really know who your ideal client is and your copy speaks to them, and your, you know, your funnel or part of your funnel is personal interaction with them, there's no reason why you shouldn't be selling things quickly. You know, there's no reason why your sales funnel, clearly I'm just making up my own abbreviations here. There's no reason why your sales funnel has to take about 5 years to come to fruition, because it's just not true. You know, I've had people that have met me on a Monday and bought from me on a Tuesday because they've been like, oh yeah, I just, you know, I really like your style, and we've had a chat on Skype, and they've been like, yeah, I can see how that would fit into my business, let's just go ahead. You know, equally, I've had people that have followed me for a year and a half and then have been like, hey, you know, I'm sort of considering buying one of your programs. What do you think? Am I the right fit? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You know, so it's going to take different times depending on different people, depending on your funnel, depending on your relationship building, and all of that kind of stuff. Lorraine, I think for me it works best with clients once I let those business and professional barriers down a little and be just me. Sometimes I'm too stiff and businesslike. Oh, crap. When I relax, then it works better. Why can I not see the rest of that comment? Oh, there we go. It also makes me feel amazing when new clients start telling me all sorts of personal stuff, and I feel privileged they feel comfortable and safe with me. Maybe I need to schedule some kind of fun event early on with clients. Yeah, schedule like a getting to know you thing. Like a lot of the things, a lot of the time I quite like to run like just a getting to know you session, because it's just fun. Like you can have a cup of tea if you're British. If you're not, then you can have a smoothie. Or you can do something else, have a glass of wine, whatever, you know, and just get to know that person, get to know what it is that they're doing, what is it that they're trying to achieve, really kind of see whether they are actually a fit for your programs, or whether they're more of a fit for you to kind of work alongside in a JV kind of way, or whether there's somebody that you could recommend out, or whether you know clients that would need their services. You know, having those kind of getting to know you sessions, either with paying clients or people that you genuinely are just getting to know, it's really, really useful, because then you have a network. You start building that internal community and that network that you have, and you suddenly start to find that actually your reputation goes up and up and up, because people are used to seeing your name in relation to positive things, because you've got a really positive network. So it's actually a really cool thing to do. Well done, Lorraine. Amazing. So when you're thinking about your ideal client, let's just kind of run through that quickly. When you're thinking about your ideal client, you need to be really specific. You need to be thinking about, okay, money, do they have disposable income, and is it something that they are going to be able to spend on coaching with you, or consultancy services or products with you? Then what's their personality type? Do they gel with you? Will they be, you know, coachable? Will they be fun to work with? Will they be introverted, extroverted? You know, how will that match you and your expectations? Then think about the kind of expectations that you have for them, and the kind of breakthroughs and the journey that you're going to go on together, you know, and think about, okay, well, how will that meet their expectations and their needs in terms of their goals, and also in terms of mine. You know, I get an awful lot from working with my clients. I really, really enjoy it. It's a really, really fun experience generally, I hope, for all of us. And it's really, really valid and worthwhile, and that makes me feel really good. And I learn a lot every time I work with different clients and different people, because it helps me improve my style, and it shows me different ways of communicating with people and different learning styles and how I can be doing things differently. And there are a lot of things that I really learn from my clients in terms of client care, communication skills, education, learning and development, different kinds of things like that. But they also spark massive ideas for later launches and things where they go, oh my goodness, I wish I'd learned the basics of MailChimp or something before I started coming in and learning about sales funnels. And so that kind of sparks an idea in me where I'm like, okay, well, what I need to do is a MailChimp webinar or a MailChimp masterclass to show people how they can use that, and then they can be able to work MailChimp competently and feel safe about entering into a sales funnel or a sales coaching process with me, because they know that I'm going to be able to teach them the basics. So it's all interlinked, and you need to really, really be thinking about those things when you are thinking about your ideal client. Anushka, that's why I started a group for joint ventures. Love that. Exactly right. If you want to ever post the link, just pop it in the group. Like, people, we love collaboration here, so definitely pop the link up, and I'm sure lots of people, including myself, would love to be involved. So that's what I want you to kind of have a think about when you're thinking about ideal clients today. I want you to think about those practical things on top of your kind of standard, what do they like, what do they not like, what are they willing to buy from you? And these are, again, they're kind of really key practical things. What do your ideal clients actually want to buy from you? What will they actually spend money on from you, and what will they not buy from you? Those are equally important, and we really do forget about them in the online world. And I see a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, it's cool, I've got this really good idea of my ideal client. She's between this age, and she watches this TV show and everything like that. But they don't know what their ideal client wants to buy from them, okay? And that's all a really, really big part of doing good market research and understanding what it is that your ideal client needs, where they currently are, what their current problems are, and giving them a solution to those problems. Does that all make sense? I hope so. I've just massively run out of breath. I'm clearly really unfit. I can't even breathe when I'm sitting down. Okay, awesome. Are there any questions on that? Are there any questions on how you can find your ideal client, or how you can better nail that particular niche, or how you can define client journeys and things like that? Are there any questions? If there are, just pop them in the comments and I will kind of go through them with you. Anushka, it does. Yay, I'm glad it makes sense. That makes me happy. I'm like, yay. Okay, good. So it makes sense. If anybody has questions, pop them in the comments, and I will make sure that I kind of come back to you. Lorraine, to summarise the points so far: 1, their income level; 2, their personality type and how it gets best with you; and 3, what do they actually want to buy? Yeah, what do they actually want to buy, and what do they not want to buy? What will they not buy from you? Because that really is just as important as what they will buy from you. There's no point in offering a done-for-you service if your clients are like, nah, I just want to do it myself. If your ideal client is actually a DIY or a done-for-you service, is not going to sell for them. It just doesn't make sense. So just have a think about what they will buy and what they won't buy from you. Now, webinar. I don't know whether anyone can pull up the link for this, but I'm hoping that you can, because that'd be awesome. So I'm doing a webinar tonight with Susan for what they won't buy from you. Yep. Doing a webinar tonight. It's going to be ace. I know it's going to be ace because I was up until 1 o'clock this morning with Susan. Despite the fact that I'm like, yep, all about self-care. During the launch, I'm like, do you know what? This sales page just completely canned on me. The theme just started updating halfway through, and I lost everything, and I was crying at about 10 o'clock, so it was not cool. Anushka, what I struggle with is the why should they buy my product offer from me? Ooh, interesting. What do you think? You know, why do you think they should buy your ideal product from you? Why do you consider yourself the expert? And Lorraine is right, because you're unique and awesome, but what do you think makes you different from all the other people in your field, apart from the really, really cool elevator pitch that you've now got, because I freaking like that. It's awesome. Okay. Jane, I say my ideal clients are female entrepreneurs, but I feel I need to explain who I work with more clearer without having to write reams and reams when advertising who I work with. Exactly. I mean, I don't really write a lot of stuff when I'm talking about who I want to work with, but I'm very, very specific. I'm like, look, if you've got a sense of humour and you find TV shows like The Big Bang Theory funny, we're going to get along. So even if we don't work together, it's probably a good idea to at least have a chat, because we'll make new friends or connections out of it. You know, so think about things like that. Think about easily relatable ways that your ideal client can get to know that you're the best person for them. Okay? Anushka, I want to go back to yours. I want to go back to Anushka. Why should they buy your product or offer from you? You know, let's think about what makes your offer different. You know, well, not your offer different, but what makes you different. What would you say makes you different, apart from the wicked sense of humour and the brilliant elevator pitch? Lorraine, I love that. There's a difference between someone like Jess and someone who's selling Arbonne or Herbalife on the side as pocket money. Thanks. Oh dear, that made me laugh. Okay, awesome. So there are the webinar tonight, just while we're all kind of like thinking about it. Oh, Nicola. So if you can't function without coffee in the morning, and at least hypothetically, then you're my ideal client. I like pretending that I need it all the time. I definitely do need it all the time. I'm like, give me coffee into the vein, but I'm withdrawing from coffee for my bikini body for Saturday. Sunday there, I'm going to get up and be like, give me coffee, like some kind of really weird troll. But yeah, exactly. Theoretically, it's like, do you know what? If you are a woman who has, I don't know, it might be that if you're looking at mums, for example, you know, you might be somebody who says, okay, if you have 2 small children under 5 and you're wondering how you can build a business around potty training and working out how to stop your children shoving their fingers into plug sockets while you're looking at Canva, then we need to talk. You know, I don't really know whether children do, because I obviously don't have children, but I have a dog, and, you know, I worry about him doing stupid things like that all the time, even though he just mainly sleeps. But yeah, it's about identifying very clearly who you want to work with, you know, in their personality type and their income level and things like that. Now, obviously, there are different ways that you can specify and different ways that you can kind of find out about their income level. Teach the toddlers Canva. Yes. Just yes. If I had children, then this is literally what I would do. I would be like, look, one of you get on YouTube and work out YouTube channels, one of you get on Canva and do my graphics, and then one of you walk the dog. And then I would sit at home on Facebook Live with like a little team of my own. It would be awesome. Oh dear. Have I frozen? I'm like, woohoo. Okay, I'm back. Woohoo. I have broad experience in that films, but that also means that I don't have a diploma certificate, which many business strategists have. Do you need a business certificate, like a diploma or certificate? You know, I don't come from it, like I don't have a business degree. I actually have I have a degree in the psychology of theatre, which is totally unrelated to what I do now. But, and also completely bonkers. I would never recommend that degree for anybody who, you know, wants to go into business. It wouldn't benefit you at all. But what I do have is over a decade of experience in corporate sales and building global business divisions across the world in 7 different countries. So for me, I was like, I could go and do a business diploma if I wanted to just kind of prove a point. But actually, the life experience and the work experience I have gives everything I need to be able to work clearly and help them see the results that they want to see. I'm watching my mouth go really, really quickly, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Feels like I'm tripping. Yeah, so just think about, is that business diploma, is that something that would reassure you, or is it something that would reassure your clients? Because if you already have that working experience, if you've already been helping companies, you've already been helping clients in that area to make sure that they fix and plug those leaky holes in their business, that business diploma, does that really matter? No, what matters is that you can convey in a way that is cohesive and just friggin' awesome, that you can help them with XYZ in their business. And for you, obviously, that's helping them plug up those leaky holes and make sure they're not hemorrhaging money in places that they really shouldn't be. So, just make sure that when you're thinking about your ideal client and when you're thinking about your experience in the field, you're really demonstrating that to them regularly, and you're showing them case studies. Talk about it in your post, talk about it and you don't have to necessarily have a testimonial, but you can say, look, I worked with a client who was at XYZ point, and after working with me, they went to XYZ point because I helped them do, you guessed it, XYZ. Think about how you can really, really do that instead, and don't necessarily worry too much about the bits of paper that you have tagging on after your name, because they're just bits of paper. Like, in all honesty, I've never used my degree. Nobody's ever asked me about it, mainly because I don't think anybody really cares or understands the psychology of theatre, and it's all just a bit odd. But equally, I've got friends with business degrees that have never set up a business and have never worked in business. Lorraine, it's very easy to hide behind certificates and diplomas and not show up in a way that will really help people. Some of us spend years and years studying instead of showing up, and in some cases, yes, you need it to be part of a specific registered group or something. Depends on your location and career. Exactly. If you want to be a doctor, yes, go out and do the doctoring stuff and get the degree and go out and obviously do that. That's quite important. Nobody wants to go to a heart surgeon who actually has never, cut anything other than an orange. But in the business world, Anushka, like you're saying, you can deliver. You've got clients that say you can deliver, then you can deliver. The bit of paper doesn't matter. It's about being able to confidently sell yourself and your services and what you do by saying, you know what, I've got this. I know what I'm doing. I know that I can help you save your business. I know that you can do all of that kind of thing. Then that's fine. People, a phrase that I use quite a lot is that people don't care what it looks like. They don't care about the bits of paper. They care about the results. They care about the things that actually affect them, not that affect you, I guess, in a way. It's that they care about the results that you can provide for them. They don't really worry about all the other stuff. Anushka, I guess I might be overthinking, need to write down my case studies and testimonials are on the page. Yes, awesome. Okay, good. So get out there and start showing people, share posts where you're saying, hey, look, my client did this and this is what they achieved and this is how it works. And then, it demonstrates that kind of confidence in your own skill and in your own ability, and helps you kind of move forward and build that client base. Natalie, so how do you say you can deliver something if it's something new? Ooh, love that question. I think, when it's, I love that. Nicola, you just closed my case, so I either need to move or get the papers. Yeah. Fine. So, Natalie, if it's something brand new, you can do like Lorraine says and start with one client, get a testimonial, and then kind of build it from there. Or have you got a background in that particular area? Like me, I had a background in sales, but I'd got a background in building businesses, but I hadn't worked in the online world before. I'd never taken an entrepreneur and helped them build their business. I'd never taken a solopreneur or a mumpreneur, or however everybody identifies themselves, and helped them create a sales process before. But what I was really, really solid on was that I really was good at selling stuff. I'd done that for a long, long time, and I knew that there were strategies there. So for me, I was like, well, this is a no-brainer. I just need to go out. I need to be really confident about what I do, about my experience, and explain that, yeah, okay, I'm new to this, but this is what I've already proven. I in a corporate career. And for me, I was fortunate in that I'd built a lot of businesses and I'd built a lot of sales areas and I'd had a lot of success there. But if you are opening up something that is completely new, think about beta testers. You know, think about doing something. I did something similar recently when I launched Sell Out Success. I always knew that that would be a group program and to start building out the intensive side of my business. And so I did a case study and I was like, look, this is tried and tested and proven strategies that I know I've used over my sales career and that I know work because they've worked with my clients and things previously, but I want to run it as a case study and see how it affects people. Get a few people in for your case study, help them see massive results and you know, really, really over deliver, and then suddenly you have something that is much more marketable, much more easily. You know, I think the real key to it is though, when you're launching anything, and I don't think it matters whether it's new or not, because you're always going to be targeting new people who don't know about your particular products or services. You know, you're always going to be targeting, or you're always going to come across people that don't know about your services, that don't know about your launch processes, that don't know about the value you give. And so actually the way that you do it every single time is exactly the same. You actually build that launch by showing up and adding value immediately and really, really over delivering on value. And it's just like we've talked about before, over deliver massively on your free stuff. You know, over deliver massively on the value that you add, over deliver massively on the free content that you give, and then you think, okay, well, there you go. They've seen what I can do. They've seen the effort that I'm going to put in. They've seen the amount of value that I'm going to add. Then in that case, then it's a no-brainer because they've already seen the value you add. Does that make sense? I can see all the comments popping up here. Nicola, so don't worry about your papers. Yeah, exactly. Online in Germany, and I've got a few German clients, so online in Germany, you don't need to worry about the papers, you need to worry about the experience. It's only if you're working locally or in a kind of like a medical field or something where you do need to validate certifications and things. There we go. Lorraine, have you connected with Tanya? Yeah, absolutely. If you guys are in Germany, you need to be connected with Tanya. I know that Nicola has, but I don't think I think actually I tagged you in something, Anushka, so you could meet her. She's on holiday at the moment. She's on holiday this week without Wi-Fi. She's in, I want to say Austria, with her family. It looks awesome. Really, really awesome. Jane, how much less should you charge for a case study? Is it a percentage of the original price? You can charge whatever you want. You know, I made my case study a no-brainer because I wanted to make sure that I could really help people that needed help with what they were doing, and that perhaps hadn't had an opportunity to join my one-on-one programs in the past because cost had been an issue. But I also wanted people that were really driven, so I priced it at a point where actually, you know, I was still probably not going to make like lots and lots of profit, but I was still going to be in profit, and that I would be able to deliver maximum value and then see maximum results for those people. And actually that's worked out really well for me because, you know, all of the women in Sell Out Success are really, really friggin' awesome about going out and telling people how cool the program is. So I love those guys. They're really helpful. Natalie, yes, I do know the online marketing. I just started an intensive program where I help them with strategy and done for you services. I'm just scared that it's not good enough. Why are you scared that it's not good enough, Natalie? That sounds awesome. Seriously, like, if you could take my marketing away, sometimes there are days when I would be really, really happy about that. You know, think about what you're putting onto them. You know, in that sense, you think it's not good enough. Why do you think it's not good enough? Have you got a case of comparisonitis where you're looking at other people who are doing similar things to you in your field and you're thinking, oh, they've been around longer and, you know, they've done more stuff and their prices are higher and things like that? If you are, and if it's comparisonitis issues, I do it all the time, even now, but the best thing you can do is just kind of embrace it and go, do you know what? I'm really good at what I do. I know that I know my stuff. I know that my clients will get results. I'm really solid in that. And perhaps the best thing to do is to keep a list on your desk about the things that you do for your clients. And, you know, I keep a folder on my computer in front of me, and I'm just looking at it and laughing now because it says client testimonials. And so when I'm thinking, okay, you know, am I good enough, or is my program going to be good enough in comparison to whoever else is, I look at those testimonials and I look at the kind of amazing things that people say here in the group about the value that I add on a regular basis, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, I know my stuff and people are happy with that, and therefore I'm happy with that. So that might be a way to go. Okay. Anushka puts writing a book on the to-do list. Yes, that'd be awesome. Be so much fun. I'm actually writing a book at the moment. I can tell you it's really, really hard work. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was for some weird reason. Lorraine, Jane, I think there's no set formula. Start with a price you feel comfortable with and multiply it up once you've beta tested and added lots of snazzy stuff. Snazzy jazzy. Woo! Yeah, exactly like that. Raise your prices incrementally, do a case study, because then people can see the true value of what you're adding and what you're trying to achieve. Going back to Natalie as well there, you know, if you're scared that it's not good enough, have you done market research around this? You know, are you asking regularly in different groups or where your ideal client hangs out? Are you regularly kind of talking to them about what they need and what they would like, and would they like done for you services that look like X, Y, Z? If you've done all that and people have said to you, yeah, I'd love that kind of stuff and that looks awesome and it sounds amazing, then you've got the right stuff. You know, you are good enough, and you have, internally, you have everything you need to succeed. You just need to believe it. And while you don't, this whole group will be here for you and we'll all be rooting for you. So I'm now expecting to see lots and lots of cool stuff from you popping up. But yeah, are there any other questions? Any other questions about ideal clients, about how you can narrow it down and why you should narrow it down? Link to the webinar tonight. 6 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. EST, 12 noon CST. Yes, got all the time zones done. So if you want to look at the exact blueprint for how me and Sue made $20,000 in 2 weeks without an email list, without a website, without anything really, we use Blab a lot, then head over to www.sass, which is SASS 20K 2 weeks masterclass.pages.entreport.net, and that will give you the link for the webinar. We're going to do this really cool masterclass tonight, which I'm really excited about, because we're going to show you how we did our 20K launch, how we did it without any paid resources, how we did it without any advertising or email lists, or all the stuff that you get told you should have, because we didn't have any of that. The steps that we put in place to keep the launch simple and easy, and free. And we're even going to do a Q&A, so you can grab some laser coaching as well in your business in your next launch. Can you post a link to the webinar? I signed up online, but I didn't get any confirmation. Can I type in? Okay. You should, I say this, Lorraine, theoretically, okay, you should be getting a confirmation. You should have a little webinar sign up thing, depending on when you signed up. But the blueprint, is there a replay? Okay, let me check this out, because sequences, there we go. So, webinar sequence, oh, you're right, for some reason it hasn't sent to anybody. That's really helpful. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, are you the only one that has lost Jess completely? No, I'm still here. I'm still here. Okay, cool. If you've signed up for the webinar already, I'm now going to send you manually kill Entreport. And I'm going to send you the webinar. So posting the webinar link in the group directly, in this group, so you can access it this evening. It's going to be 6 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. EST, 12 noon CST, not midnight, that would be awkward. So there we go. You'll be there. I'll make sure that's all sent out to you. Hopefully you guys have got me back now. I'm really sorry if you lost me, but I am still here, so hopefully you've got me back now. If you have, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Natalie, I've done a bit of research. I had my first client within a week. Yay! Yay, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. I'm so pleased for you. That's really, really good. That's awesome to have your first client in a week. You should definitely be posting things like that and celebrating things like that in the group. You love the folder idea. What can you post in the group? In this group, you can post anything. We're all adults in here. The only thing that I ask is that if you promote, then you need to be engaging on a regular basis. So the only thing that I delete regularly is people who come in, they don't engage with anything, they don't help anybody else, they don't support anybody else, and then they promo their links all over the place, or people who spam with Ray-Bans. I'm like, cut. So feel free to promote your services, feel free to do market research, as long as you are practicing the kind of 80-20 rule of 80% of the time you're engaging and supporting other people in the group, and 20% of the time you're promoting yourself like a mofo. Lisette. Okay, webinar. Everyone wants the webinar. Okay, and I'm back. Yay! Yeah, good. Okay, what I will do then, there will be a replay for the webinar. So there will be a replay. It says the page isn't ready. This is interesting. I've just been on the page, Jane. Have you typed it in? The link is quite long, so I know it's a bit of a pain to type in, but it should be there. What I'll do is I'll post the link for you in a second, and you should have that because it's all published and it's all good. So let me see if I can post that to the group. Oh, where's my keyboard gone? I put my keyboard in a very safe space underneath everything else in here. So let me just grab that and see whether I can put it in as I'm on video now, and then you will all have the link so that that's there. Bear with me, this might kind of kill my internet a little bit. Oh yeah, no, Lorraine, that wasn't, Jane, sorry, that wasn't the link, so that would be why. Okay, let me, okay, I'm just going to pop the link in for the masterclass. You'll need to put HTTPS on it, so, which I just forgot. www. Boom, there we go, the link is in the comments. And I did it whilst watching myself, which is kind of the freakiest thing I've ever seen. Oh dear, the joys of being live. So yeah, you know, if you want to join us for the masterclass, get signed up for that. Come join us over there. If you have already signed up, don't worry, I will be making sure that you get your email with all of the details and everything. Yay, I'm glad you've got the link, Jane. Okay, awesome. Are there any more questions? Any more for any more? Any more on niches, any more on ideal clients, any more on funneling down, any more on how to define your ideal clients, or anything else that you need from me today? Yeah, I'm loving these trainings, by the way. They like totally jazz up my day. They make me feel really good. I'm like, yay, I get off these calls and I'm like, woohoo! And then I, usually go and dance around my living room to some like 90s music or something. Sadly, that's not a joke. That's literally my life. Amazing. Okay, cool. If there are no more questions, I will shoot and I will go and actually kind of do some sales funnel stuff and prepare for the webinar tonight. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything you need from me, pop them in the comments. Hopefully we'll be seeing you on the webinar either live or in the replay tonight. If you join live, there will be a Q&A, so you can get your questions answered about your own business, which is kind of really awesome, so cool. Lorraine, is there a live training tomorrow? Yes, there'll be a live training tomorrow. What is it? Oh, it's Friday tomorrow. I'm like, is it Saturday? Would I not be doing it? Yes, there will be a live training tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow, you have a choice actually, and I'm kind of in that stage at the moment where I'm like, what am I going to do? So for me, it's we can either talk about core values in your business and like the importance of core values. Jane, that was one awesome source training. Yay! I'm glad. It means I'm hitting the right flipping spot. Woo! Yeah, so tomorrow we can either do core values in your business, or we can do writing sales pages. Yay! And if we do writing sales pages, I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes on the sales pages that I'm writing at the moment. So that's kind of cool, which is quite jazzy, but totally up to you guys. Vote for the one you want. We can either do core values in your business and how we express them, what they do for your business, and how you can kind of keep your business focused around them and make sure that your ideal clients know what they are and embrace them. Or we can do writing sales pages. Yeah. You can tell which one I want. That was a little shimmy, by the way. You just can't see like the bottom bit. Since my dance class last night, I literally think I'm like pro. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, Strictly Come Dancing. Or whatever it is, dancing on ice. That would be me. Natalie, writing sales pages sounds good. Okay, cool. If you want to write sales pages with me tomorrow, then you need to vote in the comments and we will be writing sales pages together, and it's going to be fun, it's going to be hilarious, and I'm going to talk to you about sales copy and why it works and why it sucks and all of that cool stuff. So get on board with it, ladies. And also tomorrow, it's Friday, which I've just sort of remembered. And you know what that means? There is a big announcement coming in the group, and it's going to be really exciting. And I'm like, yeah, I'm stoked about it. It's really exciting. I'm really excited about it. And you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. But just be prepared tomorrow that it's going to be a big day, and that I'm going to be really overexcited about the whole thing. Lorraine, core values or writing sales pages. Could we go for the psychology of theatre? How having Jude Law naked in a lead role on stage is beneficial to female entrepreneurs. Funny story, I actually used to babysit a little girl when I was a lot younger that was best friends with Jude Law's daughter. So I used to also then babysit Jude Law's daughter. Never met Jude Law though. Saw him once at a like a sports day thing, but for his child, obviously I was there babysitting kid I was looking after. Wasn't just going and watching random sports days for children. That would be weird. But yeah, and he was there and he was sat on like a little rug and stuff with his kids. So there you go. But I highly agree. Jude Law's a fitty. Yeah, just love him. Okay, Jane, sales pages. Okay, cool. It looks like we might be doing sales pages. Sales pages. Da, 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 da. I might make a little dance or a jingle. Again, thanks to Lorraine for tweeting this out today. It's really cool when you guys tweet and talk about the fact that we do live trainings in here every day. Thank you to Nicola Humber, who recommended the group in another group today. I think it was the Entrepreneur Incubator, but I can't be sure. Like I say, you know, it's really cool to have people in here that are really engaged. It's really nice to have this cool community where it genuinely is supportive and safe, and where we all kind of really get along and have the kind of awesome conversations that we do. So if you do think it'd be beneficial to anybody else, Anushka, weirdo alarm, yep. If you do think it would be beneficial to anybody else, if you know anybody else who would benefit from hanging out in a super cool group, then make sure that you talk about us and talk about our cool group and talk about our, you know, kind of weird leader. That's me. Awkward. But yeah, you know, make sure you kind of shout about us so that other people can join, so that we can have some really cool people in here, and so that we can do all these free trainings. It's going to be also amazing. Anushka, how did you get a link to post, Lorraine? Lorraine's like a technical genius. She just is. It's just magic. Amazing. Okay then, my loves, if there are no more questions, I am going to go and I'm going to head on to my calls for this afternoon. But tomorrow, remember, we'll probably be doing sales pages depending on the votes coming back, and I will be making a super huge, super exciting announcement. It's going to be flipping awesome. Yeah, it is. Yeah, just is. I'm really excited about it. Might even do a dance. Like, bop out my 90s. I don't even know what that is. I think that's the Staying Live thing. But I might break that out tomorrow, live. Okay, my lovelies, have a really awesome afternoon or morning or day, wherever you are kind of starting right now in the world. And I will be speaking to you tomorrow live. But I'll also be back in the group this afternoon because I'll be posting out the webinar link, and I'll expect you all to be on there too. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.